But if you're a piano teacher, you've probably noticed a big shift in teaching. Many kids today have shorter attention spans, no time to practice, and are more neurodiverse than ever before. The digital age and AI has brought us connectivity like we've never experienced, but at the same time, there's loneliness and disconnection. It's had enormous consequences on attention spans, sleep cycles, stress and anxiety levels. And that's not just the kids. And it's here to stay too.
But the good news is that there are practical ways to cut through the challenges and reach every student. Coming up, we're going to show you how to put this into action with a piece that you can try out with your students today.
Welcome to episode 1 of the Piano Teaching Success podcast. I'm Gillian.
And I'm Paul, and today we're kicking off with a deep dive into today's kids, what you're experiencing in your studio and how to overcome some of the challenges. And whether you've been teaching for a while or you're new to teaching, there's been a generational shift. I'm sure you've noticed it. Many kids struggle to focus. They give up fast. They melt down when things get hard. They're anxious and perfectionistic. And they lack engagement.
The digital age and AI are supercharging our lives, but they've also brought constant notifications, stimulation, and messing with attention spans, memory retention, and stress levels. And in this podcast, we're going to look at some teaching methodology that we created for teaching groups. And a few years ago, we discovered that it actually works brilliantly for one-on-one students as well. And it's called whole body learning. And this is a multi-dimensional methodology, and it just seems to cut through and work with students of all ages and all learning styles. It gets kids off the bench and into their bodies through movement, rhythm, singing, and hands-on learning. And it's the antidote to digital overload. More and more piano teachers are embracing this methodology in their lessons every day, and they are loving the lift in engagement and sparks of interest that they're seeing in their students. So we've decided to bring and share this approach with more teachers just like you.
Whole body learning is based on the ideas of Orff, Delcros, and Kodai, and neuroscience has shown that whole body learning teaching strategies actually really work. Along the way, we'll be sharing some of the latest research that I'm discovering in my PhD studies as well. The challenge for most of us is we didn't learn like the kids of today. When I grew up, there was no mobile phones, no internet, and we did what we were told. My teacher put the music in front of me and I had to read it. It was a traditional approach to learning, and it was hard for some kids even then.
Yeah, it was certainly hard for me. I wasn't a good reader initially, I have to confess, and they almost gave up on me, really. And, that was it. The kids' worlds today are just so fast, interactive, immersive. And if our lessons aren't designed the same way, they just mentally switch off. Not because they're naughty or lazy, but because their brains simply aren't getting enough stimulation or variety to stay engaged.
And here's the good news. Whole body learning gives us a way to teach that feels natural to them. It reduces the overwhelm and strengthens memory and makes our job so much easier.
Yes. And I think that's because whole body learning kind of engages the senses, the body, the ear, the voice, and the mind all at the same time. It's like this multi-dimensional teaching methodology, which means kids learn faster, they remember, goodness, isn't that a challenge at the moment, and they have a lot more fun in the process, which means they're going to like doing it.
And honestly, after teaching with this approach for over 30 years, having my own piano teaching studied in a neuroscience PhD, and reading all the research, I can tell you it's not about doing more in a lesson. It's about teaching in a way that helps kids' brains actually process better.
And if you've ever taught a child who can't sit still, forgets between lessons, meltdown when it's too hard, or is anxious about making mistakes, then whole body learning is your new best friend.
Yes. So let's get practical with exactly how this works, because hearing about it is just one thing, but seeing how to do it helps you to make sense of it.
So imagine it's lesson 1. Your new student is so excited and a little bit anxious at the same time. And as a teacher, it can be a bit overwhelming knowing where to start because they don't know anything yet. And we can sometimes get a bit bogged down and into lots of talking and explaining, but what the kids really came for is to learn to play the piano. So here's the very first piece we teach beginners, and later we'll show you how to layer it up for more advanced students too.
The song is called Cha-Cha-Cha. Let's get onto it. Cha-cha-cha. 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 Cha-cha-cha.
So if you're listening to us on podcast, we've actually put a link to the video in the show notes. When you get somewhere, perhaps you're driving right now, but when you get to somewhere where you can actually safely watch it, you can watch that video.
So let's unpack what we saw. Firstly, I was doing the rhythm with a percussion instrument. And can I just tell you, kids of all ages, up to teenagers, love percussion instruments.
They do. And what you would be doing is you would play cha-cha-cha and they would play it back to you. That's right.
Yeah. And I was using a castanet. So it was very easy to do. Secondly, you saw me doing it with body percussion. So we were doing that rhythm all over the body. So on the head, on the shoulders, on the elbows, you could go on the knees, across your hands, across your body. So many different ways that you can do that. Can I just tell you, that is amazing because the student has to watch you to see where you're going next so that they're ready to do it. So you got total attention and total engagement. And those two things are so vital for success. And thirdly, the student was playing on a paper keyboard. And we love paper keyboards, don't we, Gillian?
We do. It gives that extra little kind of step before they have to do it in real life.
And nobody makes a mistake on a paper keyboard. I love that. We want them to have instant success. And the way to get instant success is just to prepare the body so well that when they actually play the piano, it's beautiful playing. And so they know what they're doing.
And nothing beats micro steps and success at every micro step. You might think, oh, that's just a waste of time. But actually, it's not a waste of time because it's actually building confidence. So when they go to the next step, they can do it.
That's right. And we're building up some core musical skills of listening and playing in time with someone else. So it's the start of collaborative playing. And finally, when we do get to the piano, they know they're looking for those two black notes so they can see and they're identifying those two black notes. And things like we're really focusing on that finger position so that knuckle isn't collapsing and things like that. So it's really easy to do that. You can build that up as you go so that they are getting that success as well.
So this is a very simple little activity, but it can have enormous benefits in building many deep skills. One of the aspects of whole body learning is clever repetition. And you saw in the video, Paul was doing clever repetition. It was the same thing, just a simple little rhythm, but they were learning so many different things, weren't they? They were learning with the percussion. They were building a sense of beat. They were listening to the backing track and responding at exactly the right time. They weren't playing immediately after you. They were waiting for their time to come in. And the body percussion, it also they heard that track again. So it builds up greater familiarization with the music, the sound of it, the tempo, the style of it, that it's kind of a little Latin piece and it's kind of fun. There's a little bit of a ditty, isn't it? And that interpretation is something that we often don't even get onto until kind of late intermediate advanced levels. Well, we can teach that right from the beginning, right from lesson 1, when we have a track like that. And then with all the different places over the body, you're actually, when every time you do something in a different way, you're building multiple brain connections. So you're giving your body or your memory a garden of neural connections to remember what you taught them at home. So when they have to practice it, they've got more memories to tie that to. And then that paper keyboard was that convenient micro step. And it's success away from the piano. And we limited, you saw it was just one octave with 2 sets of black notes on it. Not the sea of 88 notes there, just one octave. Let's keep it, micro steps. And then, of course, we got to the piano and then about finding the different areas in the piano, locating those 2 black notes on the piano keyboard. So there's just a wealth of things that our student in their first lesson has learned just by doing this simple activity. Yeah.
So we can use this piece with more advanced students as well. Here, let me show you.
So if you're watching this on podcast, what you need to know is this is a bit of an octave play with the right hand playing in various octaves, the left hand playing on its own in various octaves. Sometimes we do crossed over hands. Our student was getting the experience of various different octaves on the piano.
Well, we're building up keyboard geography and really understanding where the octaves are. And this is especially important for beginners. I don't know about you, but I've had students come in and who've learnt something before, and they put their hands on the piano, but they put their hands in a F position when they want to play in a C position. And they obviously haven't done a lot of work with the black notes. And I think those black note play is so important for all students. But also we know that the black note, you can get some really good finger position and avoid that collapsing of the first knuckle and strengthening those fingers from doing the black notes. So perfect for, even older students. And with older students, you can do so much. You could be playing 1 octave up, 1 octave down, 2 octaves out, and then they could cross their hands over, do it with their eyes closed. So many different ways to do it. And I think that idea of even do it with their eyes closed and not looking. How good would that be for just understanding the distance of an octave?
We love the eyes closed thing. So even for beginners, it's good for them to do it eyes closed, just listening to the music and playing, even if they're not moving octaves. But for a more advanced student, where they need to actually get the feel of an octave, it's fantastic to do it, to make the leap with their eyes closed. And it's also a game. It really, really ups the concentration span for sure, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
And then there's the geography element with the beginner, that if we are doing it in various different areas on the piano, it breaks them out of that kind of middle, I'm only allowed to play these few little middle notes in the middle of there's all of these 88 notes, but I'm not allowed to play those ones yet. And it sort of breaks them out. It gives them more freedom and more perhaps understanding about the pattern that is on the piano, right?
Exactly. And a great pattern that they can do is they could just move all the way up the piano. And you can imagine them, their little sit bones going from one side to the other. You did an interview with Jane Shelshear, who is a body mapping expert, a couple of years ago. So many teachers who've watched that have reached out and said they got so much out of that interview, Gillian. And there was a lot of detail on sitting at the piano and moving at the piano. And we've got a link in the show notes for that as well.
This simple activity, repeated and layer up, can help even beginners to experience more advanced concepts like octave leaps, playing the right hand only, left hand only, hands together, a sense of the whole piano and not just those middle notes that so many beginners and so many methods are limited to. It also builds musical skills, like they have to listen to the track. Collaborators, like collaborative playing, they've got to listen and play. And it's also about developing a sense of beat, playing in time, and the rhythm, experiencing the rhythm. It also builds technique, as we've just touched on. Even with beginners, keyboard geography, focusing on playing on the tips. Because if you're doing something that they absolutely know how to do, then you can move into doing another complication. For example, let's play on our tips with this one. They're not trying to figure out what note do I have to play, what hand do I have to play. And now you want me to play on the tips. Stress, stress, stress. If they are completely relaxed in this concept and they're really used to playing it and are doing it really well, then you can move on to something more advanced, like playing on tips, curving fingers, focusing on fixing collapsed knuckles. So don't take our word for it. Try it out with your students. Links to everything you need to do cha-cha-cha with your students are in the show notes. And if you are a studio member with Piano Teacher Success, you'll find cha-cha-cha and all the resources that go with it in the Discovering Beginners module. It's the first piece.
This is one of our favourite pieces because whole body learning activities instantly capture attention, build engagement, and strengthen memories so easily and teach so many musical concepts. And what I love about it is they get instant success, so the students feel good about playing.
Make sure you try this out with a student and let us know how it goes. In episode 2, we'll be looking at the research on neuroscience and learning and how it relates to teaching piano. Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in episode 2.